Today we are going to learn about the Morrison, Ross, and Kemp Instructional Design Model. The Morrison, Ross, and Kemp model was developed by Gary Morrison, Stephen Ross, and Gerald Kemp. You can read all about it in their book Designing Effective Instruction, which is now in its 7th edition. What is unique about this model is that unlike other instructional design models, which have a linear structure, this model has a curvilinear structure. This is to illustrate the fact that revision is ongoing as the instructional designer progresses through the different steps of this model. It also illustrates the fact that the steps in this model do not have a particular order, and there is not necessarily a definitive starting place in the process. Another feature of this model is that it focuses on the learner rather than on what content to cover. The model contains these 9 steps, which you can see on the diagram. We are going to walk through a scenario illustrating these 9 steps. In this scenario, a personal trainer who works at a gym is going to develop a unit of instruction to teach personal fitness. I don't know if personal trainers use instructional design models to design their instruction, let alone if they use the Morrison-Ross-Kemp model, but I thought it might be fun to see what it looks like. The first step is to identify instructional problems. According to Morrison, Ross, and Kemp, this means that we identify the need of the client or the performance problem the client wishes to solve.
Welcome to Mr. Universe Gym. How can we help you? I want to get buff. You've come to the right place. We will design a training program to help you realize your fitness goals. Cool!
Next, we want to look at the learner and context. This is where we examine characteristics of the learner, such as their background, education, prior knowledge, or even factors such as their gender or ethnicity. Gathering this information from the learner will help us to avoid wasting their time going over material that they already know. It will also give us something to build on as we make connections between what they know and the new material.
Have you ever lifted weights before?
No.
Do you know what the bench press is?
No.
Do you know what a barbell is? Or a dumbbell?
No.
Do you know the proper form to do push-ups? Or chin-ups?
No.
We've got our work cut out for us.
The next step is task analysis. This is where we determine what knowledge to include in the instruction so that the learner can achieve the objectives.
Let's see. The learner will need to know the layout of the weight room. He will need to know the different types of weights and machines, as well as basic safety procedures.
The next step is to specify the instructional objectives. These tell us exactly what the learner must be able to do in observable and measurable terms.
Given a dumbbell, you will perform 4 sets of 10 curls each, with 100% accuracy.
The next step is content sequencing. This is where we determine the order that we are going to present the information to the learner.
Let's see. Do I teach him upper body or lower body first? And where do I work in the lesson on nutrition?
The next step is to design instructional strategies. This involves coming up with creative ways to present the information to the learner so that they will remember it and so that they will be able to make connections between the new material they are learning and the knowledge that they already have.
Alright, for this task, I want you to categorize the different types of workouts based on the parts of the body and the types of physical activities we can do when those areas are more fully developed. For instance, you do the bench press to work the pectoral muscles. You use the pectoral muscles anytime you have to punch someone in the face. Not that I recommend doing that.
Next is designing the message. The message is composed of words or pictures, and when we design a message, we are arranging those materials in a particular way.
Let's see. Here I'll italicize these words, and then I'll put a graphic right here.
The next step is development of the instruction. This is where we put it all together. This is also where we determine what types of media we want to use, such as print materials, videos, or multimedia.
Let's see. I think I'll put this section in a video clip that he'll watch from the beginning. And then this part will go in a printout that he'll take home.
The last step in the model is to create evaluation instruments. These are what we will use to assess the learner to determine if they have learned the material and to what degree they have learned the material.
Alright, this is the real test. You're going to determine the correct weights to put on the bar. And then you're going to do the correct number of reps for each set. I'm only going to be here to spot you and to tell you if something is wrong. Let's go!
Well, I hope you now have a better understanding of the Morrison, Ross, and Kemp Instructional Design model. It's a very popular and widely used model, and it's also a very flexible model which can be used in a wide variety of instructional settings. Who knows, you might even be able to use it if you're a personal trainer. Until next time,
Hasta la vista, baby!